The lives of successful figures in history have always fascinated people, and the first successful individuals in history were the kings who, in ancient times, managed to establish a united and organized empire, one that functioned like the gears of a well-oiled machine. Most people seek models of progress to apply similar principles in their personal lives and the organizations they control. At a time when most governments had not yet formed or had only limited territories, people were at best part of a united tribe, often losing their lives due to the ambitions of tribal leaders and local rulers. The sun rose from the east around 580 BC in the lands that would later be known as Pars, Persia, and Iran. Cyrus the Great was born. The renowned historian Herodotus recounts a tale about his birth that blurs the lines between myth and reality, reminiscent of Moses' story. Cyrus was born from the union of Mandane, the daughter of the Median king, and Cambyses of Thymbra, a Persian prince. This lineage placed him at the heart of power in the ancient East. The rise of a new power often stems from dissatisfaction with the previous ruler, aided by a member of the king's court. Astyages, the Median king and Cyrus's maternal grandfather, had a dream foretelling that his grandson would overthrow him. He ordered his minister, Harpagus, to kill the infant Cyrus. However, Harpagus disobeyed, secretly sparing the child while making it appear as though the task had been completed. 10 years later, when the truth was revealed, Astyages sought revenge. He invited Harpagus to a feast, unknowingly serving him a dish made from the flesh of his own son, a gruesome punishment for his disobedience. The pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. A traitor in the Median court, growing discontent among the Persians, and Cyrus, who had grown up in the Persian governor's court, waiting for the right moment to incite a rebellion. The Medes' tight control over communications made it difficult for the young Persian prince to coordinate with forces outside of Pars. Finally, Harpagus placed a message inside a rabbit's carcass and sent it to Cyrus as a gift, encouraging him to rise against Astyages and promising his support. Cyrus prepared his army, and upon hearing the news, Astyages sent a force led by Harpagus himself to confront him. As the story goes, Harpagus surrendered the Median capital without much resistance, allowing Cyrus to take power seamlessly. The transition of power was so smooth that other nations saw Cyrus as Astyages' successor, but he was more than that. He became the king of kings, the king of Persia. To solidify unity, he formed a royal council with members drawn from the various lands under his rule. Lydia was a state in Western Asia Minor, in what is now modern-day Turkey, ruled by Croesus. Driven by a thirst to expand his realm, he first conquered the city of Miletus, a Greek colony, and then brought the entire western bank of the Halys River under his control, thereby expanding his territory. Sardis, the capital of Croesus, due to its geopolitical position and centrality between Babylon, Assyria, and Greece, became a hub of wealth and royal treasures. The political shift in Iran prompted Croesus to consider adding Persia to his territory. Believing that the new Persian regime lacked the strength for war, he marched towards Persia with an army composed of various nations. His border movements reached Cyrus, who deemed hesitation unwise and set out with an army. After Croesus's forces plundered Cappadocia and enslaved its people, they encountered Cyrus's army in Pteria. The Persian army, consisting of 10,000 warriors and 100 scythed chariots, at the time a new weapon for cutting down enemy ranks, entered the battle. A key advantage of Cyrus's army was its unity and the fact that all its soldiers were Persian. unlike the enemy forces composed of various nations. Cyrus decided to strike the right wing of the enemy first, using his chariots to break their formation. The enemy forces collapsed, and the Egyptians in Croesus's army, encountering Cyrus's general amnesty, joined his side. Due to the winter, continuing the war was not feasible. Croesus preferred to retreat until spring, hoping reinforcements would arrive. He believed it was impossible for the Persian king to march on Sardis in the deadly cold. But Cyrus advanced. Upon arriving near Sardis, Cyrus saw a wide plain stretching before the city and recognized this would be a cavalry battle. He employed a tactic using camels instead of horses, which caused the enemy's horses to panic, something even Herodotus and Xenophon confirmed. Entering the city was impossible due to the massive stone fortifications, so the Persian army laid siege. After 14 days, several of Cyrus's elite forces found a way through the defenses and heroically opened the city gates. The people of Sardis could hardly believe that the Persian king chose clemency and general amnesty over plunder and destruction. Croesus surrendered, and in 546 BCE, Sardis was conquered. After reforming the government there, Cyrus returned to Pasargadae. After the conquest of Sardis, Cyrus decided to suppress the revolts and unrest in the eastern borders. In his campaign to the remote eastern regions such as Gandhar, where semi-wild and naked tribes lived, he avoided violence. This pacifism led to the easy conquest of those areas. After that, he conquered the land of Hyrcania, today's Gorgon, and appointed Histaspes, father of Darius the Great, as its governor. Cyrus advanced from the Oxus River, Amu Darya, to Lake Aral and occupied Sogdiana. To irrigate those areas, he built dams over the Oxus and, over several months, constructed 7 strong fortresses, including the Kura fortress, to create a powerful defensive line. He also brought some Indian and Scythian tribes under control. After 5 years of campaigning in the east, Cyrus returned to Ecbatana. Then he set out to conquer a pivotal point in history, Babylon. Babylon, located between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, had fertile lands, and its geographical position made it the trade center of the known world at the time. Various peoples, such as Arabs, Egyptians, Ethiopians, and Phoenicians, used to travel there. Schools of astronomy, medicine, and philosophy flourished. Herodotus wrote about the legendary greatness of the city. Walls 300 feet high and 75 feet thick enclosed the city in a square shape. A large moat surrounded it, and the walls had 100 gates with bronze doors and colorful tiles. The Euphrates passed through the center of the city. A king like Cyrus could not tolerate the existence of an independent state such as Babylon on his borders. In the spring of 539 BC, after full preparation, he decided to conquer Babylon. To reach there, he had to cross the Gindus River, present-day Karkay. During the crossing, one of his sacred horses drowned in the strong current of the river. Cyrus, enraged, ordered 36 channels to be dug to divert the water, so his troops could cross safely. The Persian army reached the gates of Babylon, but the city seemed impenetrable. Belshazzar, the son of Nabonidus, the Babylonian king, confident in the city's security, held a grand feast. Meanwhile, Cyrus ordered the digging of canals around the Tigris. Gobryas, the former governor of Susa, who had joined Cyrus, played a major role in diverting the river. The water level dropped so much that soldiers could enter the city on foot. While the people were celebrating, special forces entered the city. The main gates were opened, and Cyrus entered Babylon with great splendor. In the palace, Belshazzar, half drunk, attacked Gobryas with a sword, but was killed by him. Cyrus's first action was to appoint Gobryas as the governor of Babylon. He recognized religious freedom and recorded his liberation decrees on clay tablets, later known as the First Charter of Human Rights. He allowed the Jews to return to Jerusalem and restored their plundered religious items. Nabonidus was exiled to Kerma, where he died in 538 BC. Every rise has a fall, and every era comes to an end. The man who once ruled over a vast part of the world climbed the final steps of his life on his own. According to Persian legends and stories, he was made aware of his impending death through a dream or an angel. He responded by refraining from eating, resting, and calmly preparing himself in bed for the destined moment. In the end, he gracefully drank the cup of death in his own bed. Unlike the Zoroastrian tradition of placing the dead in a dakma, Tower of Silence, his body was buried. His current tomb is located in Fars province, Iran. After him, the Achaemenid Empire experienced many ups and downs, which you can explore further in other videocasts or books